Hi, this is Dave. It's April 4th, 2016, and I want to go over kind of where we are right now with some of the latest tools and templates. We've really come far. It's about time to catch you guys up on that. So let me show you a couple of things real quick. First of all, let me just show you, kind of pick up where I left off before. These are some extremely high test templates that we've created. For instance, this one here is really powerful in that it has a lot of individual sections, and each of those sections can be turned on or off. So it's a very nice, very high quality template. And what I'm going to show you in a minute is how a template like this can be tailored for something completely different. So we just scroll down, we see a lot of cool effect in here, a lot of cool scenery, good use of color. Sections do things like this, and so they move along at a nice clip, showing you different things you might be interested in. And you can hover over something and open it in a new tab. If I were to continue down, just different sections. And again, each one of these sections you see can be flipped on or off automatically, and that allows you, and you can hook up different people's Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn for person by person by person if you're actually trying to present different people, experts in the field or partners or whatever you'd like. And each of these sections can be flipped on or off, like I say, so that you can start with a small version, a small rendition of the website in order to start off small. And then as you add more into it, then of course you increase the size and the power of the website, the different things that it's meant to do. Okay, so this is very clean, easy to operate in the background, and that's what I wanted you to see here. Now I want to show you a different idea of extreme power as well. This is a very nice site. Okay, now what I want to show you is a different concept. GDR, garage door repair, theme to HTML.com. And if we go take a look at this, this is a whole different thing. It looks more simple because it's intended to. It's supposed to be more functional, less artistic, on purpose, because it's just good to go. Now, we got banners with nice transitions. They can be random. They can be set to be a particular kind of transition. So we have different sort of transitions built into this top level gallery. So that's nice. But there are many things about this template that's slightly different than the standard templates we've done so far. The service blocks, of course, you can decide how many you want to flip on or off and how many should show up per row. So you can really decide if you want to put a lot of small ones together, kind of catalog style, or a few large ones, different things like that. But there's quite a bit more. There is a layout to the sidebar, for instance, that allows us to flip the items in any order, but we can also switch whether the sidebar shows up on the left side or the right side, or a third switch, it shows up horizontally across the bottom of the body section. So it shows up down here horizontally. And that has a really interesting effect. So it acts like a new section in the website instead of a sidebar. Along with that, there's a control for the Google Map to have address information on one side, contact us form on the other. And you can flip any of these off. You can flip off the contact information, the map will expand, or the contact us form, the map will expand. Or if you flip both of those off, of course, the map can go all the way across to fill the hole. Or you can flip the whole map off because now you can put your Google Map into your sidebar, something that didn't used to exist. Not only that, but you can put the Contact Us form into the sidebar as well. There's an option for the Contact Us form. And that's kind of cool. What else? How many of you guys know the difference between boxed layout and fluid layout? Okay, boxed layout is kind of like this, where there is sort of a clear margin on each side, and then there's background. Okay, and it's called boxed. All of the content mainly is boxed in here. Now the header may do its own thing. We like it happening that way in this case, but this is boxed. We have a switch. You can flip between boxed and fluid now. So now you can make this spread out fully. So it can make full use of the screen, no matter how big or small the screen is. Okay, so that's a new control. So when you're actually creating websites and you're using variations, you can have boxed with the sidebar on the right, boxed with the sidebar on the left, fluid with the sidebar on the right, fluid with the sidebar on the left, or boxed with no sidebar, or fluid with no sidebar. Okay, 6 different versions there. Or boxed with the horizontal sidebar, or fluid with the horizontal sidebar. So now we're up to 8 versions. Now, along with that, here's another thing. As you already know, I'm sure, these items can be flipped. I've said it before, and you guys have seen that before. We can decide the sort order of the items in the sidebar. Okay, we just go and rearrange the order and hit save, and boom, it pops up in the new order. But we did more. Some of our pages have a lot of print and a lot of content, and they may as well have a lot of items in the sidebar. Other pages could be smaller and have a lot less to say. And in the case of less to say, okay, like this is kind of a lot to say, and see how there's a contact form here? That's funny. The contact form's here, but it wasn't on the home page. Okay, I'll put that on in a minute. On a coupons page, maybe this could be very short, and so this is very short. Here's what it is. We can put a lot of items into our sidebar, but then from page to page to page, just simply decide which modules we want to show up. Okay, so on short pages, we can have just a few things show up so that it doesn't push the page all the way down and leave a bunch of empty, silly looking white space. Okay, and not only that, but we can create variations of things. For example, I was just talking about this with a different client too. What if you have a video for each different thing you do? So say you're in construction and you construct one thing and another. Maybe you're doing garage doors. So you may have one video for garage door repair, another one for custom garage doors, another one for, I don't know, garage door maintenance. Well then, in your sidebar, you see you don't want the same video on all the pages. But if you have different pages, that's the point. If you had a garage door repair, garage door replacement, you know, custom garage doors, garage door maintenance, if you had different pages like that, or you stuck them in a submenu, then what? Then you might want one of these videos to show up on each different page. So we can actually put all the videos in our sidebar and just choose which video shows up in each different page. So that's just a great little effect, right? How does it get bigger still? Well, if you can if you think about a mobile phone, how does that go? When you start the mobile phone and you tighten this up, okay, then what's it going to show? Top down. It's going to start with this kind of information here. It's going to show you your menu here. That's going to start in with the content. Well, what happens if we move the sidebar to the left? Okay, instead of the sidebar being all the way at the bottom, okay, this sidebar would come first. So literally from garage door specialist downward would come where? Right here. It would actually come first, right underneath the top bar. Okay, and the menu link. Then you'd see the sidebar first and then the page. So for the effect, for some of you, the video is the most important thing, and you don't want them to scroll down on their mobile phone and see print and not realize that there's a video, because they may leave the page before they ever see the video, right? But if you could have the video show up first, right, or something else, okay, then you could have that section appear first underneath the top bar so that they can play, and then if they're still interested, then they scroll down and find more information. Okay, so that's kind of cool. You could even have the contact us show up first, or the Google Maps show up first, because you can rearrange the order inside the sidebar. All right, now again, I'm sorry I'm kind of rushing through this without actually making the changes. Most of you guys have been in the panels enough to see this, but I need to move quickly in order to show you different things. Remember how I showed you the mountain bike template, right? What was I going to say? And this is something to remember. Most people forget how versatile these templates really are. You can use them really for any industry you want. So take a look at this. I'll just show you another one here. 14-day affiliate. Okay, this is important. Okay. Take a look. This is the mountain biking template. All right. Just in case you don't know, this is that same template, but we've just modified it for a new industry. So it's for a whole new project here, right? And that's exactly it. Now, again, if we scroll down, you kind of get the idea pretty quickly. Okay. And so it's the same template, but it looks so completely different that you would never recognize it if somebody didn't point it out. And yet it's so hotly different. That's what makes this template extremely versatile and flexible and valuable, and how cool it can be for your own personal use. Whatever it is you would like to do with it, you can just do with it. Look at how cool that effect is when you have the images that slide, and you also have your parallax effect, and you can decide what things are supposed to be like. Okay, it's just really nice effect, right? And that's what you can do. You can actually just set this up any way you would like. Flip on or off the sections you want and decide what kind of points you would like to make about it. Okay, and there you go. Now, what's the point? We do the top quality websites now. Many of you are familiar with what are called CSS files or JS files. If I'm to view the page source, you can see things like your CSS bootstrap files and some JS files and so forth. We manually minify everything 85% of the way. 4-page productions for jobs that are done. So that's really cool. And what that allows us to do is make sure the pages load fast. We make sure there are no errors in the coding. We do everything that makes the website highly, highly competitive from a technical point of view. So not just do we make the website itself really hot so it can sell whatever it's supposed to sell. And look, there's a banner. You can click it and it can lead you to wherever you would like the banner to lead you to. Okay, so it can be somewhere on the same side or a different side. It can be whatever you like it to be, but there you have it. Okay, so this is the kind of control you can have inside the site. And yes, it can have a sidebar that can be flipped on or off. And yes, that can allow you to do all kinds of things. All right, now having said that, again, here's the point. Let me show you this. This is the kind of, I'm going to show you something else, google.com, okay? There, and some of you guys saw this already, right? The AMSOIL sites. There were 2 actually that were put into production, okay? And they became so powerful that AMSOIL said, hey, you're actually breaking our terms. We have to ask you to take those down. Any idea why? Because the affiliate who was so good at this was pretty much taking over everything. So let me just show you. All right, and he didn't mean to do anything against their terms, but this is a case where he didn't ask, or if he did, they just didn't believe. Quick Lube Supply, right? Pretty sure that's it. Yeah, Quick Lube Supply. Okay, take a look. 27,500 pages, basically a page for most cities in the U.S. and also some cities in Canada, lower Canada. Okay. And the reason he did that basically was to have himself show up. Anybody's going to open an oil lube shop anywhere, okay, nationwide, you know, and they're going to show up. Now, the run was so powerful, and you're kind of lucky to see this because it's going to be gone soon. The run was so powerful that they started to literally show up front and center for all these different city names, or for most of them. I mean, like spot number 1 or 2 for, let's say this. Union City, Ohio, and best AMSOIL supplier. Okay, there's a keyword. What about Union City, Ohio, AMSOIL supplier? That's a tighter keyword. What about Union City, Ohio, AMSOIL? Heck, that's even a tighter keyword. What about just Union City, AMSOIL? That's an even tighter keyword. Yes, they were showing up number 1, number 2, number 3 for many of these cities. They happen to be the top for thousands of results. Okay, and they did that not just on 1 website, but 2. So if you go there now, AMSOIL actually said you have to take it down. And think about why. That's pretty freaky power for AMSOIL, isn't it? When one of their affiliates is out doing all the rest. See, AMSOIL doesn't sell themselves. They sell through their referral base or affiliate base or whatever they call them. I don't even know. All right, nationwide. So what they do is encourage fair play. All right, and so everyone, they just never expect any one person to be able to harness most of the power. But if you have one guy showing up at the top of about every city, and that's why they took him down. They had to take him down to keep in the program. They had to try something else, which they're working out now. You might say, well, what do these pages look like? Were they even there? Yeah, take a look. East Dublin, Georgia, best AMSOIL. See that little arrow? I can check out the cached version and see what the page was like. Okay, just to give you the idea. All right, the pages were here. Nice, simple, really clean, clear. You might get interested and you might say, hey, I want you for my supplier, etc., etc., etc. And that's kind of the idea there. Now, of course, the current page did change, right? The one that matters now. And basically, oh, that one actually is still up. All right. Some of them they left up. Don't ask me why. Maybe they were allowed to in Georgia. I don't know. But anyway, here's the point. Let me come back to this. You'll get it. East Dublin, Georgia, best AMSOIL supplier. East Dublin, Georgia, AMSOIL supplier. East Dublin, Georgia, AMSOIL. East Dublin, AMSOIL. Let me just, try that, right? East Dublin, AMSOIL. okay? Just to give you the idea. Top and center, right? Front and center, #1. And that's what they do with a lot of results. Now, to go along with that idea, it's one thing if you're showing up at the top for all the cities and all the other affiliates start contacting you, and then some find out how far you went because you're telling them, because you want them in your group. Okay, it's disrupting AMSOIL's business. What happens if all of their affiliates, or what, again, whatever they're called, join one guy? That scares the heck out of AMSOIL, wouldn't it? What if that guy decides he doesn't like their program, he wants to move on to something else, and he takes most of those people with him? Okay, you can see why it would violate AMSOIL's terms, right, of agreement, right? Because it's just scary to have that much power. Most companies preach, go haywire, do your best, we'll back you because you're making us money. But if you actually take so much control to yourself out of their hands, right, literally, you become the new middleman. Some companies are actually scared by that. So what you need to know is your relationship with your company. Will they let you do this or that? You want to figure that out before you get large productions going, because you want to make sure you do it right the first time around. So literally, you got to ask. Sometimes you want to save the email. Sometimes you want to work with them. But here's an example of what you can expect. If you go to ClickBank and just start selling something and you take over, they may drop you from the program. You can almost expect it. And it very often happens, right? They reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. They reserve the right to drop anyone from their program at any time. Most programs have that option, okay? That's their level of control, to make sure you don't throw their dynamics off so much that it really disrupts their business. But if you're working for a guy, and I can use my proverbial plumber in Elkhart, Indiana, right? If you're on page 3, if you're working for a particular guy and he's just, whatever you do it for me, I'm all about it. You and I have our agreement, whatever it is, we're splitting commissions, or I'm paying you up front, or who knows what it is, right? Then you have permission and you can go haywire, right? To the degree that you have a budget, you can go haywire, right? So whatever the seed money can buy, you're good to go. Have at it, right? So just make sure you either control the program, or you're one of the partners controlling the program, or you have direct permission from the person who does control the program to go haywire, right? And when you're given that permission, it's fun, because then you're free to grow, and that's great. What if this guy could do it? But he didn't just do it for himself. Talk about nerve-wracking. Let me show you this one. What about this one? All right, first of all, remember this first site had about 27,500 pages on it. What about this one? BuyWholesaleOil.com. 15,000, little over half over, okay? But again, the same kind of thing, right? Look at this. Instead of AMSOIL supplier, this time it's best AMSOIL dealer, all right? That way we have a different keyword approach for this website, but for most of the same cities, all right? Again, like half of the cities total, right? Half of the pages, half of the cities kind of thing. But again, we can go deep, all right? We can just look at whatever we can see, and whatever it is we want to do, you know, who knows, Utica, what is that? Utica, New York, Utica. What is Utica? AMSOIL, okay? I'm just going to go and see if I see him. And, all right, not really here. I had this impression. If I go a little further out, though, because Utica, it might just be several Utica cities somewhere. I don't know. If I did try to do it bigger, let me just see. Just curious. New York. Okay. This is kind of good to see how this stuff works. Oh, there they are right there. New York. BuyWholesaleOil.com. Okay. AMSOIL dealer. And it's very possible I could see the other guy in here somewhere too. Here's another way to understand it. What if it was Utica AMSOIL dealer, right? You know, then there they are again, you know. And then if it was supplier, right, that could be the thing that comes up. Supplier. I don't know if the other website had a page for that or not. Oh, they do. Look at this. Utica, Ohio. Oh, there is. There's Utica, New York, and Utica, Ohio. Okay. Nonetheless, check that out. So these guys do have a lot of overlapping cities, and so they have number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4 positions on very many front pages. So if the one guy does it and then he shows he can do it for one of the members of his group, what do you think would happen if he could get a hold of everyone else nationwide and say, hey, join our group? That's what can be scary for AMSOIL and can be against their terms, and no one can blame them. That would disrupt their business pattern. If I were a competitor, I go full bore out, right? What would we do? We create a lot of websites for any of our reps or members. We come up with an excuse to come up with all those websites, stick them on a server, and we pump that out, okay? So that stuff's powerful. Now, here's what's really interesting. We got all that done with just a simple citations package and a couple of main sites. That was it. It was real simple. Why did the sites work that well? They're relatively young, just a handful of months old. Some of those sites have been up for years. Okay, AMSOIL reps. Reps, that's what you call them. Dealers and suppliers. Our sites are better. They're better quality. HTML5, CSS3, Bootstrap, compressed images, blah, blah, blah. It's all solid. Okay, mobile friendly, error free, everything is hot about the sites. Google loves that. Those technical factors are hot. The user experience is good. Google loves that, and they love to rank it. Okay, that's why those work. They're different websites. They're similar, but we arrange them differently, so the look on the second website is ever so slightly different. Again, that's just it. This guy to take it down, right? And he did, because I mean, that's just so sad, right? It's like tragic. When you build something incredibly powerful and it's going to do you really, really well, you could get rich on that. But then you can't get rich on that because AMSOIL itself tells you don't do that, right? And so you have to step out of it. Isn't that a tough thing? But it happens. It's happened to a number of our guys. And so really, I cannot stress, get your relationship figured out first, then go haywire. Like intentionally, right? To the degree that you're allowed, and that's the direction you're going to go. As long as you get the relationship figured out first, and you know that they're going to be okay if you really do pull this off, okay? And again, if you're working for a guy who's a plumber, roofer, electrician, carpenter, you know, dentist, chiropractor, they probably are more than willing for you to go haywire on their behalf. They're not going to slow you down one iota, okay? So there you go. So now that you see that, how much power there is, that was before. We've taken it a whole lot further since then. That is child's play power. Okay, I just want to give you some insight real fast in case you're not aware, because this is new. Let me just show you something we just put up recently. Okay. Okay. This is an incredibly powerful tool. As a matter of fact, it's to the point now, using this tool, that, well, first I'll tell you and then I'll tell you. Okay, if you have a WHM, all right, that means you have your own dedicated server. I'll just show you mine really fast, just so you get the point. Those of you who go out of your way to pick up a dedicated server, okay, that means that you can put lots and lots of websites on that server, hundreds, all right? When you put the websites on that server, really, that's cPanels. Every website has its own, okay? And so you can have lots and lots. I've got like 273 that are active right here, right now. Okay, there's just website after website after website. Now, if you went and you tried to get a cPanel from HostMonster or something like that, each time you do, it'd be like $100, maybe 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85. Well, here's the point. Once you get a WHM, which is like $1,900 for a year, then all of these are free. Every single cPanel you create is completely free, which means every new website is $10, basically. Cost of a domain name might be $9. If you're on the Domain Buyers Club, like $8.68 each. So $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, $9, going on and on and on and on and on. Okay, you can get a ton done on your server that way. Well, here's the point. WHM, Web Host Manager, right? Very common interface for creating cPanels all in one spot. There is an app for your phone for WHM. Well, you know what else has an app for your phone? Okay, GoDaddy. You know what you can do with that? Okay, go into GoDaddy. Here's what you can do on your phone. I can be climbing up the side of a mountain. What can I do? Okay, I could be sitting at a restaurant chatting with the guy at the next table, and he goes, oh, hey, can you make a website like that for me? That's fantastic. I'd love to have one of those. And I said, fine. You mind picking up our dinner tab? Heck no. All right, let me tell you what. With the app, you can go get a domain name on your phone, okay, in minutes, just quick. All right, search for a domain name and buy it. Then you can point the name servers forward. Not only that, but you can set up the profile in GoDaddy so that the name servers are already pointed to your choice, okay? So in other words, you can set up custom name servers that are the standard whenever you use it. Not only that, But because of the WHM manager, you can create the cPanel really fast on your phone. Okay, you can create the cPanel, right? Then what could you do? Well, if you have this, okay, this allows you to do a lot of things. You can install, okay, the website for the guy right then and there. You can choose that domain name you just got. You can decide whether it's going to go on a subdomain or not. You're going to go ahead and set up the database user name and password. You can even just hit refresh buttons to do it, just like that. You can decide that the file isn't on your phone, right? Where's the file? Well, it's in a repository online, your repository. So I'm just going to go get it, and it's going to be here in my list. Okay, maybe he really liked that biking thing very well. Then I'm going to give him the biking zip with the biking SQL file. That makes it work. Okay, there's the password. I'm going to enter whatever for the security key. I've got a list I keep. I'm going to enter whatever for the email address for this guy and hit go, and literally this will install the website for him, and I can tell him what his password is to log into the admin panel right then and there. Literally before we're done eating dinner, I have his website live, and he can access it literally from his cell phone at the table. Or if we're climbing the side of a mountain, I can have his website installed before he gets to the top. Well, what else can we do? Okay, we can set up cPanel accounts en masse. We can do it literally 100 at a time, really, really fast. This thing actually can set up about 500 an hour, okay, cPanel. So if I literally bought $5,000 worth of domain names, or right, or like whatever, 4,700 I think it would be on the Domain Buyer Club. That'd be like 500 accounts. I could literally create it automatically. Okay, just one motion to literally paste the information in here, really, when you understand how it works, and hit process and walk away and let it be done. I'll just go get lunch, come back, it's all done. It's set them all up on my server for me. I'd have 500 more domains here. I'm ready to roll on whatever I want. I can go ballistic nationwide with anything I want to promote and take over with. Okay, what else? I can create installations. We can do subdomain installations, literally, and we can pump out jobs in the subdomains or create a bunch of subdomains with anything, Google verification files or whatever, and we can run that out. And that'll also run at the rate of about 500 an hour on any one website. So just select a website and do it. What else? Okay. Like I said, I got my file repository. Anything I ever want to install to anyone's website, so just keep online in my repository. That way I can install it from my phone because I can log in here on my phone. Not only that, but if I have programmers in different parts of the world, for them it would be really, really slow to upload things. But if they can just store stuff in their own repository, then they can install stuff from wherever they are in the world, but they're literally installing it locally because these are here in the US, right? The server's here in the US. So everything I'm installing local in the US is really, really fast, right? That's why we can move so quick. Now what? Now comes new power that was not even applied with the ANSOIL guys. Here's the new stuff, Page Speed Analyzer. With the Page Speed Analyzer, I can check the speed of my web pages, pretty much anything I want. Okay, I can just look up the speed. I can search the files and check out the speed. And then I can also check, and I can save the results instantly. Just hit the button to export to Excel. Then I can go to custom, and I can paste in a list of competitors and hit process and see their page speeds. Okay, how fast do their pages load? Because it's one thing Google really cares about these days. The guys with the fastest loading pages, that's a big item in their algorithms. Okay, it's a big deal. So anyway, I can check my page speed, check their page speeds. Then I can see wherever I'm not doing very well, guess what I can do now? Minifier. I can go to the minifier and go to that website, whatever the website is, right? And have it search all the files. And then when it's going through all the files through however many folder levels deep I want it to go through, if I really want it to dig deep or not. So if I have subdomains or add-on domains, you know, and I'm trying to get top level or next level down, I can go deeper. Then it'll go through and minify whichever of those files I want. So I can just minify everything if I really want and hit minify, and it will minify them all. And when it does that, guess what that means? The page is faster to load. Now, if any file proves to be problematic, if the file doesn't come out, I can also unminify. So I can unminify everything, then selectively minify for just the fastest possible speed. You know what we're going to do pretty soon with this tool? Have it work automatically. Have it check its own work and minify automatically each thing on its own. That's pretty impressive, right? And I can do that for every single website to make everything powerful as it gets. So we started with some of the most sellable websites there are, already organized for the best clean coding. Then we're minifying for the fastest possible speeds. Okay, everything we produce. So when you export a lot of new HTML pages, you want to minify them. You can't have them minified first because you have to minify HTML files after you produce them. So this tool allows you to go back through and minify everything new. Okay, and by doing that, then you can go back to Page Speed Analyzer if you really want, and you can go back in and check the new speeds, all right? And you can export that, and you've got your before and after. And you can see how you're doing against your competitors. Then if you still find that some of your files are slower than your competitors, you can go to those pages and decide if you want to do something. Maybe the image in it's really bigger than it needs to be. You want to make it smaller, and then it'll load faster. Or you don't care. Who cares? You know, if you do most of it, the biggest batches, then you can ignore the small stuff along the way, right? Now, finally, what else? We can get rid of zip files that are gumming up our room. You upload a bunch of zip files, and that takes up a lot of room. So we can run this to intentionally go look for zip files. Then we can just check them and delete them if we don't need them anymore because they're old. Okay. What else? Sitemap. We can create a sitemap automatically now. You can select whichever website it is. Okay. Boom. And it will go through and find all the HTML files in there that are good for your sitemap. And you can select all, hit the button, create sitemap. Guess what it'll do? It'll create a live sitemap right there on your site based on the pages that are currently on your site. Isn't that awesome? That means what? That means if you come back through later and you delete some pages, add new pages, you just run this again and it goes through and finds the newly updated pages and overwrites a sitemap. Why is that cool? Because it's always current. Your sitemap is always a collection of the pages that are really on your website right now. Okay. What else? Besides creating a sitemap, we can submit it. And this does a couple of things extremely powerful. So if I did that, once I have it submitted, I can say, go find my sitemap. Might even be in my top folder level, right? Because it'll be in the root. Go find my sitemap. And then I can select it. If I have more sitemaps, I can select them too. And I can hit the button that says submit. You know what it does? It submits to Google. It submits it to Bing. It submits it to Ask. It submits it to Yahoo. Okay? All four of the major search engines, it submits right then and there on the spot directly. And if you have a robots.txt file in your root, okay, then it will append the data to your robots.txt file. It'll append those sitemap links and the information regarding it for incoming bots to recognize where your sitemaps are and know that those are indeed your sitemaps. That will help your rank. What if you don't have a robots.txt file? It will automatically create one for you, no problem, and it will add the information for the sitemap links. That way, any incoming bots, no matter what search engines they come from, know to look for the robots.txt file. If it finds it, that gives it golden nuggets of information that just help you rank better, faster. Now, keep in mind, the Page Speed Analyzer, the minifier, managing bulk files to keep your server from bogging down with old zip files, and sitemap to create and submit straight through all of the search engines. This is new. Okay, at the time we did those AMSOIL runs, those didn't exist. We didn't even get that far with those guys. We still had to do this kind of stuff manually. It was mainly just through Google. We didn't have a robots.txt file on the site. We didn't actually minify the HTML files. We didn't run page speed analysis at all. What if we had those tools then? You know, and what if they didn't block us? You know, well, anyway, that's the position you're in now. Talk about luck, because all of this stuff is done, running, waiting, working, ready for you. You can get your own copy of this entire tool that we have here. Okay, everything that this thing does, okay, and you can add all of your own websites to it. No matter what website you have, one or more, you can add them, and then you can run through the list of everything to deal with them to maximize the effect of them all. Not only that, you can get some of the hottest, most powerful templates imaginable for custom use, and we can do the custom copywriting for you, handle all the images for you, set up any kind of PayPal buttons or payment buttons or forwarding to other websites for you. If you have banners, we can insert them. If you have Google AdSense, we can take care of that. If you have a newsletter snippet, we can insert that. If you have videos, we can put that on your site. We can arrange it. Then we can hand it to you along with the access for your cPanel, because we're going to set up the hosting for you when we do your job. And we can hand you the access to your admin panel so you can log in and rearrange stuff, add new pages, change things around, test new things. What happens if I put the Facebook fan page button higher than the video? Will I get more likes on my Facebook page? You can go test it for a week, see what happens. Up to you. What if I add a new page about this new angle? It dawned on me, hey, I should add a page about this. Very, very easy inside the panel. We made the panel incredibly easy so that it's not hard to use. And we've got our videos up so that you can go watch them and understand anything along the way. Okay, that's the part we have right now. We're still growing. We're still going to have all these feed into a directory. We're going to have all these auto-produce into a directory that we use. And so all these websites, you're going to be able to add into the directories when they're done, okay, for any of you that are buying our productions, okay, because we can't wait. We can populate that thing and we can go huge. What happens if you create 500 subdomains times, let's say, 10 websites? That's 5,000 subdomains, 5,000 individual links that can be added to the directory that are all different, that are all completely cool, and the directory will support that, and that's fine, right? Just to say you do business in all those different cities, okay, and you do it with 10 different websites for, you know, the illusion of diversity, for catching people with different personality types. You have different messages out there, different angles, for saturating Google, all of that. And we can also put these entries into the citation listings for you, Merchant Circle, Yellow Pages, Yelp, and so on. All right, that's the point. That's the power. That's where we are now. Anything you want from there, what do you do? Go to T2HA. .com. On the order form, you can order the different things that are there. You can look at the pro services and see what's there. There's different options. It's really powerful. So you can come here and see what we've got. There's videos. Okay, this is about supercharging your website. We can do all this stuff to a website you have now that's old-fashioned and still maintain the look of your old-fashioned website, so you don't have to part with the look and feel of it. In other words, if you have a site that's gotten old and it's losing rank and only now you're losing sales, and you just wish you could maintain it just the way it was, but you know you need to upgrade, we can make that happen. We can give you what is actually an extremely modern site with a full function admin panel and allow you to minify everything and make it mobile friendly, even though it may still look and feel basically the same as it did. Okay, so that's, for those of you that are interested, that's a really important option to watch that. There's also templates and landing pages. Okay, you can go search our templates and our landing pages and see what kinds of things you like. We have some extremely powerful templates here. Is a landing page. Again, it can be used for anything you like, but it's really, really hot, you know. And so this is the kind of thing that we produce, they can work with, and it's very enjoyable. All right, everything we got in here, just high quality. You're going to love to work with our stuff because we're just really on a mission to create the best websites and the best technical factors that all work together and blend beautifully. With a landing page like this, you can incorporate your own autoresponder and you can make it work. If you have any trouble with that when you're getting it, let us know. I'll help you out. So these are the things we have for you. And a landing page like this has a full function admin panel so that you can do anything you want with it. Okay, so you'd be able to log in right now with demo and demo, right? All of the themes on the front page, you can log into any of them with demo and demo just to get a sense of what that admin panel is like and what you can do with it. There's tons of great functions here. You'll love it. All right, there you go. Thank you very much for watching. I think that gives you a lot of information to go on so you can see what you want to do. We're looking forward to getting you on a roll, and very happy that you're becoming part of our group, understanding what we have and what you can do here. If you got any questions, give me a call. I'm always available to help you out, help you find your way and figure out what you should be getting, what your strategy ought to be, and based on your budget, where we can start and how we should grow from there. All right. Looking forward to chatting with you. Thanks a lot. Take care.